region, with the community college being the focal point. In other words, the service area. So for McDowell Technical Community College, they service McDowell County. So everyone associated with McDowell County, support organization, business partners, and so forth, then that in itself is one collaborative. Another one would be, say, for example, Caldwell Community College. Well, they service both Caldwell County and Watauga. So we included all the business partners in those two counties, along with the support organizations and so forth. It's just so easier from the way that I believe to be able to penetrate. It's all about market penetration, getting down to the business partners, because at the end of the day, the support organizations, the North Carolina Department of Commerce, Apprenticeship North Carolina, and all others, we talk on a frequent basis all the time. But in order to drive the growth of apprenticeships, we really need to connect and network with our business partners in each of these collaboratives. And that's why it's so important that we slice this up or carve this up so we can reach that target audience. So we realized that sooner, early on. So with the collaborative, it consists of, like you see here, the cog, each wheel turns and they all have to turn in unison. The businesses, multiple businesses, or the business partners, or the sponsor of the program. We also need community-based organizations to help to provide services, supportive type services to the apprenticeships. Of course, we need McDowell Technical Community College, the career and technical schools. We need a workforce systems to help contribute training funds for related instruction, like what Brandon mentioned a few moments ago. So it takes all of us. If one piece is missing, then we're going to fail. That's why it's so important that we all work in unison. So basically what you're looking at here is a consortium of support organizations that make up the collaborative. And all are committed and all are working in unison to accomplish our mission, both individually and collectively. Okay, Brandon. So our next slide actually goes into the Northwest Region Apprenticeship Collaborative. Like, what does this consist of? So basically the history going into the partnership. So when you look at this collaborative, the group of folks that are on this call today, it's one community college, it's one workforce development board. There is one K through 12 district that's associated with this. And at the time that I created this presentation, there were 6 industry partners, but I believe that we have 12 to 15 Sheriff? Different business partners on the line today.
Oh yeah, I feel like I've just got a little bit of a cold, not even a bad one.
Hey, somebody on the line is having a phone conversation. Can you put yourself on mute, please?
Well, I figure I might burn it a little bit, let it lay.
Could you please mute, please? Okay, well, I'm going to keep on talking here. We also know that in the K through 12 districts that we know there's 3 high schools in McDowell County. We know that there's 3 middle schools, and we know that there's 8 elementary schools. And this is very important because our youth, well, they're one of our target audiences, so to speak, and it becomes very strategic in how we approach that. Fortunately, being a part of this pipeline discussion for the past several months, it is really refreshing to know that McDowell and Brandon, much to you guys' credit, are really working with the school system there to drive knowledge and awareness into the schools about potential careers, about different types of work and skills and trades and so forth. So you're taking a very innovative but yet strategic approach in getting that into the school system. We'll talk more about the youth. Also about collaboratives, there are other target audiences as well. One being your incumbent workers for the business partners. People that are already employed with you, we can create apprenticeship programs for them. For people that are being onboarded, new hires, we can create apprenticeship programs for them. We also know that the work of the collaborative and what is really required of us is basically selecting potential employers, leveraging the community college resources, and utilize the workforce development fundies to make this happen. And of course, the primary outcome, our mission here, so to speak, is the workforce board, the community college, and K-12 partners to work as one unit to engage with local industry on developing apprenticeship programs. This is all very important. Now, in order for me to become familiar with each collaborative or each county, early on, I did some research on all the different counties or whatever. And I do know that based on the second quarter 2019 data, that the largest employers in McDowell County, the top three, one is education and health services. The second one would be professional and business services. And the third one would be public administration. I also know that McDowell employment by industry, and this is what's quite interesting to me, as far as manufacturing is concerned in McDowell County, there are 6,100 employees, a little bit over 6,100 employees that work in manufacturing. Approximately 2,000 work in retail trade, and 1,400 work in healthcare and social assistance. I also know, based on 2018 data, there's 46,300 people or thereabouts in McDowell County. And trying to drive this down to different ages, between 0 and 19 years of age, there's over 10,000. Between 20 and 24 years of age, there's 2,400. And I know that there's approximately 4,300 that are K through 12 enrollment. That is based on 2018 and 19 school year. So what does this tell me? Well, going back to the employment by industry, that manufacturing is by far the largest, but the largest employers does not include manufacturing. So that tells me there's a lot of manufacturing, small manufacturing companies within McDowell County. There's an opportunity here. Usually large corporations, larger companies or corporations, they have the funding to have someone dedicated to help with learning and development, training, and so forth like that. Smaller companies do not. And here's where Apprenticeship North Carolina can add value immediately to your organization, because we can come in and create a structured program for your business. Now, you've heard me talk about manufacturing. Yes, we do focus a lot on manufacturing. I'm not going to tell you something different, but we also can create apprenticeship programs for professional type occupations as well. So we're not just focused on manufacturing. We can go into professional settings and create apprenticeship programs that would serve their learning and development and growth as well. So there's a lot of opportunity. I see nothing but opportunity here in McDowell County, and that really excites me. And with the commitment from Dr. Merritt and from Brandon and from all of you guys, I see us really being successful, really going forward. Brandon? Oh, one other thing that I did forget to mention, we do meet 5 times a year, or this year, that's what we have scheduled. It's every other month. So we're meeting in January. So our next meeting would be in March. I'll tell you the date on that in just a few minutes. We also meet 2 times as a collective collaborative. In other words, as a regional collaborative. So the other 5 collaboratives will join McDowell as well. We'll have one big meeting in June and in December. There I will talk about the collective results or findings or learnings so that we all can grow together. And like I said, those 2 meetings occur in June and December. Okay. Also, doing my research and trying to learn as much as I can about apprenticeship in North Carolina, how apprenticeships work, because all of this was kind of new to me. And I've been in this role for just a little over a year now. And what I found was this slide here. It talks about the top 5 apprenticeship program challenges over the next 2 years. And what's quite interesting as I look at these, and I come from the world of manufacturing and industry and so forth, these challenges also apply to all the different industries, regardless if you're manufacturing or whatever it may be, especially with the retirement of baby boomers and so forth. So you look here, you got the low levels of quality candidates for training. There just aren't a whole lot of people coming out there that you can hire right off the street without having to do a lot of formal training, development, enhancement of skills and so forth like that, regardless of the occupation that you want to hire for. There just aren't enough of them out there. Also, depending upon what industry you're associating with, the level of government oversight plays a big role as well. And then how do we go about communicating the value of trades to external stakeholders? It's like the world of education and everything else. You have to think like a business. You have to manage like a business. You have to incorporate marketing, and you got to have a good PR program. You got to sell. You got to sell your services to the community and to the business partners, and communicating the value of a trade to prospective apprentices. I'm based out of the Catawba Valley Community College, and we've last year through the Manufacturing Academy here, we've been working with some of the local high schools. And one day we went into one of the local high schools, and we met with the entire senior class. We had them broke up into 4 separate teams, and we were basically just wanting to try to gather some data. So we all asked the same questions, and what we learned from that was really quite shocking, because a lot of seniors had no idea what manufacturing consists of. They had no idea about what the occupations are part of manufacturing. They just think of it as back in the days when I grew up, if your mom and dad, they worked in any type of manufacturing, regardless of what it might have been, it was kind of a dirty environment. And I think some of that has kind of, resonated with some of the our youth nowadays. They have no idea that manufacturing encompasses not just working on the line, on the production floor. It also encompasses purchasing, procurement, accounting, engineering, all different types of engineering, maintenance, and all the different specialized maintenance trade skills that are needed. It encompasses information technology. It encompasses human resources, and I can go on and on and on. They had no idea. So it was a big learning experience for us to make them aware of what really manufacturing is. And it really created an alarm, so to speak, in that, hey, we really need to spend more time in our schools and with the youth, and really not wait until they're seniors in high school to do it. That is why I really applaud you guys for what you've been doing at pushing career awareness and the different opportunities to the youth in McDowell County, in your high schools, and even into your middle school programs. So kudos to you guys for doing that. That's one way that you start early, and you start communicating the value of trade to prospective apprentices. And that's just one marketing strategic approach to doing that. And then replacing the number of retired tradespeople. That has become a huge challenge there. Some of these folks that have been in the same job for years and years and years, and they have a certain trade or a certain skill. And it's something that they learned from whoever they took the job from many, many years ago. And they really like doing it. And how do you transfer that knowledge and that skill over to someone else? Because these people are retiring, the baby boomers are retiring at a very fast pace. Even some companies nowadays are really encouraging, and that's very kind words, if you will, encouraging people, especially at the baby boomer age, to retire early so they can replace them with new talent. But in some cases, that new talent coming in is not really talent you're going to have to train on. You're going to have to educate them on. You got to spend time with, and that costs money, and that costs a huge commitment on your end to make that happen. So enough of my challenges. These are also opportunities for us as well. Brandon, can we go to the next slide? So let's talk about this, because, I speak of opportunity, and I speak of win, 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 win. And this is a slide that we use frequently when we make presentations. Let's talk about win-win for apprentices, because it gives them an opportunity to earn and learn. Here again, regardless if the apprentice is a youth, if they're an incumbent worker, or if they're a new employee that you're onboarding or whatever, it gives them an opportunity to earn and learn, because we never stop learning in life. Also, there's a structured incremental pay increases that are part of this apprenticeship program that the business partner, it becomes part of the program, so to speak. And they also have an opportunity to earn college credit. So for some of those some of our youth, for example, that, hey, they don't want to go into a 4-year school. They've had enough for school or whatever it might be. They just want to go to work. Well, maybe even some of them think, hey, I just don't know that I can do college. You know, that sounds so advanced to what I've been doing. But if you put them in type of a program like this and you incorporate related instruction through the community college, whatever, then they see that, hey, I can do this. And I'm kind of working in a job or a profession that I have a passion towards, and I can learn at an advanced level. So it's a motivating factor there as well. And they're also under the guidance of qualified members. You know, you put them with someone who's going to train them appropriately and correctly. And in many cases, they get to learn on the job current technology and equipment, especially with our youth. And even some of us nowadays are past the age, whatever, it's kind of challenging at times to keep up with all the different current technology. But the youth nowadays coming out of school, that's what they expect. That's how they learn. That's how they communicate. That's who they are. So you got to meet them on their own level. And it provides a great opportunity for career development. As pertains to community college, well, you develop closer industry relationships with everyone that's a part of this collaborative, from the North Carolina Department of Commerce, McDowell County school systems, other support organizations. You got the workforce boards, you got NC Works, you got Apprenticeship North Carolina, and between all of us working with industry, we're there to help them meet their needs. And it provides an articulation between apprenticeship and college programs that will ensure two important things here: relevance and rigor. And that's very important there. And it's all about numbers. So regardless of what we're doing here, support and or business partners, we all have numbers we have to meet as part of our goals. For the community college, it increases enrollment in craft trade related type classes and provides them the opportunity to build and or enhance programs that they may already have in place. And of course, it increases program graduations. We're kind of behind here in the US because a lot on the European side, you know, they really take this craft trade development very seriously, especially some of our German companies or French companies and so forth like that. And they really work with the apprenticeships programs and really believe in them. And we almost need to get into that same mindset, so to speak. For businesses, and I'm speaking straight to your business partners on the line, this is a great effective recruitment tool, especially for someone coming in and they know that they're going to be trained and they get a certification, a state certification that's part of this. It's very structured. They're not just being thrown in and forgotten about. They come in and they realize, hey, these people care about me. I'm a part of something bigger than me. I feel like I'm contributing to the organization. And for those of you that track retention rates, this is very important to make someone feel valued coming in the door. And for some of you that just can't find some of the older workers, say post high school, whatever, this is a great recruitment tool to really get our youth interested in a certain skill or trade early in life and mold that and to develop that, and for you to be able to pull them straight out of high school, or even during high school, and put them in occupation to give them a chance to try to see if this is what they want to do, and expand education and training options that you may not have had in the past. As I mentioned earlier, it increases employee retention. It also provides you a trained and educated workforce, not just a trained workforce, but an educated workforce. For a lot of companies, and it's very competitive out there, regardless of what industry that you're in. And the key differentiator is your workforce and the skill level, the talent level, the education level of your workforce. So anything that you can do to advance someone's knowledge and skills is the right thing to do. And this may address some of your pipeline concerns. Also allows the opportunity to transfer knowledge, skills, and expertise. We spoke about that. And even in some cases, develop future leadership. We work with one company here as part of Apprenticeship Catawba. And as I was going around with Kimberly visiting those companies last year, several had shared with us that they are really looking at some of their apprentices that have actually been in the program a year or two as future leaders, and some have already been put into roles as leaders at their companies. And I found that very, I was really shocked, but pleasantly shocked that the cream was rising to the top, so to speak, and that was really good. Also for North Carolina, what does this do for our state? We all have a vested interest here. It aligns with key workforce system initiatives that we all have, especially the support organizations, allows us to train and learn locally. You know, we're taking care of our own within our communities. And it's also a big economic contributor to our economic within our communities. Allows employed apprentices to raise families, purchase goods, services, and homes. In other words, you know, I know here in Catawba County where we're kind of facing a shortage of workers because our youth were leaving and going to big metropolitan areas. Well, you got to have something for them to want to stay, to raise their families, to live here. So if you have something like this and you're taking care of them now in-house, so to speak, within the boundaries of McDowell County, chances are you're going to keep them. And here again, provides the opportunity to build and develop future business leaders. So there's a lot of win-win-win-win things associated with apprenticeships. Kimberly, are you on the line? Did you have any comments you would like to add?
So I am here. Good afternoon, everyone. So I recognize some of the names and faces that I've seen. Kimberly Probst, Apprenticeship Coordinator for Catawba Valley Community College, and David and I have been working together ever since he came on board as the Regional Apprenticeship Coordinator, and he is actually, his office is at Catawba Valley Community College. So I want to welcome everyone to hearing David's presentation. David and I had spoken in the past, and the only thing that I can add to this is not only can I support apprenticeship, of course, as an employee or an employer, I can also support it from a parent's perspective. So my son, who is a senior in high school this year, last summer participated in the Construction Careers Academy pre-apprenticeship. And this was his first job, 17 years old, first job, and he fell in love with it. He loved the job. He loved earning money. Since having the pre-apprenticeship, I have maybe given him money 5 times, if that. It's taught him independence. It has taught him how to be responsible, more so than he was. It's also given him an enlightenment of what he thinks he may want to do moving forward. He has, in fact, been accepted to 4-year universities, and he is moving in that direction. But what the pre-apprenticeship did is gave him an idea of what he would like to pursue once he goes to that 4-year college. So with these students, keeping in mind, not only even with the pre-apprenticeship, speaking from experience, it can give them an idea of what they want to do for their future in moving forward, and then come back to our areas to pursue those jobs. So even if they don't go into a full registered apprenticeship program, they still get the experience to know what they want to do. It's just like David's title of this presentation says, a win-win-win. I really can honestly not think of anything negative about these programs. They're just amazing. So that's just my 2 cents. Again, welcome. And I know that David looks forward to working with each and every one of you in the future.
All right, thank you, Kim. I tell you what, if I can get a testimonial for 2 cents, I'll do it day in, day out. I appreciate your comments, sir. So thank you. Brandon, you go to the next slide. One thing that I forgot to tell you guys, this is not just a David presentation. This is a team presentation here. We all have a vested interest in this. So now I'm going to bring in one of my colleagues. Charlie, are you on the line? Can you speak to youth apprenticeship programs?
You bet, David. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charlie Milling, and I'm the Western Region Youth Apprenticeship Coordinator And my role is to work primarily with industry and community colleges and other stakeholders to create and advance youth apprenticeship opportunities. And by youth, we're talking about individuals aged 16 to 24. And youth apprenticeship programs is more so maybe than other adult apprenticeship programs, is very much a collaborative process between industry, community, and education partners. Youth apprenticeship programs start often in high school, in a pre-apprenticeship, and they continue on in through the community college. And it is very, very successful. I put in the chat that studies show that youth apprentices are highly retained and highly successful. Over 85% of youth apprentices report being with and staying with their employer site, that the employer that was in their program 2 years or more after the completion of their programs. So youth are very motivated, and they very much want the opportunity to learn and earn. Another really good thing about youth programs is if an apprentice starts in high school in either a pre-apprenticeship or an apprenticeship, they're often eligible for the North Carolina Community College tuition waiver, which parents love as well. So they can go to community colleges in the apprenticeship piece for their tuition, with their tuition covered. So it's a great way, like David's saying, it's a win-win for everyone.
Okay, thank you, Charlie. I appreciate that. And you are so correct. And Apprenticeship North Carolina is really committed to getting our youth more involved in apprenticeships. And we're adding, or they've been adding staff to be able to do that. So in Western North Carolina, not only you have Charlie, you have Joyce, you have Elizabeth, you have myself, you have Sherry, you have Kim. So we are committed to working with each of our community colleges and with our business partners to really attract youth and create apprenticeship type programs for them.
And,
So
and
thank you.
David, do you mind if I cut in right here? And Mark Garrett, the superintendent of McDowell County Schools, made a comment. I would like to see if he's available to just speak on that a little bit from the youth apprenticeship perspective from the school system, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Brandon, it's my pleasure. We have the last few years really tried to open up some different opportunities for students and have had some business partners come alongside. And what we have found is just what you're saying, that the retention is better, kids are more engaged. It makes their studies in school mean that much more than just something that's theoretical. So what we're looking for is just more and more opportunities to get our kids in. Mary Finley is our CTE director she's housed at McDowell High School. Emailing her or me if any business out there is interested, because what we have found a little frustrating, and I know that we're on the education side and not on the corporate side, is some of the 18-year-old age limits that we're running into, and some of those other things where folks are a little hesitant to let our kids into their facilities. So if you're willing to take a chance with us, we can turn on a dime and put some kids involved with your corporation business, be it large or small. So, we stand ready. We have sort of tooled up our CT programs to lean towards some certifications and apprenticeships, and want to see that expand. So we stand ready to partner with you. Thank you, Brandon.
Brandon, I believe you're muted.
Oh yeah, yes sir. Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. Thanks, Mark. I really appreciate those comments there. And we have, I want to say it's like in November is when we met with Mary and Brandon and some others. I believe Charlie was part of that discussion as well, to do some investigative work, like what you guys have done as, reaching into the school systems to engage with the youth, whatever. And that's when we discovered you guys you're on the ball. You're on the ball. You're doing a lot of the right things. And like I said earlier, I applaud you for your recognition that our youth are our future. Those just aren't words. I mean, that's the truth. So thank you for that. Brandon, next slide. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is basically just a kickoff, so to speak, and March is when we really get into the meat or the content of really working hand in hand closely as a collaborative. And some of our discussion topics kind of going forward, we'll share best practices that are from their business partners, from past experiences, the Workforce Development Board, Brandon and his team, and others from our support organizations can help us. What kind of Department of Commerce, Felicia and her group can help us understand and learn more about some of the best practices through their experiences. We will need to share those because one solution for one business partner may not be the best solution for another. So we're all unique. We need to realize that this is not just a cookie cutter type approach. It's very individualized and specialized. We'll also be able to we'll talk about technical assistance and any policy updates, not only as it pertains to Apprenticeship North Carolina, but from each of our support organizations. You'll be called upon to provide information and updates, just like what Brandon did at the very end, making us aware of the funding that is available. And that's good information to know because I don't see it every day. I'm like you, I get bombarded with emails and information, and it's just hard to keep up with my daily duties and responsibilities. We'll also talk about some regional planning and goal setting. I have certain goals that have been set for myself, as I'm sure all business partners and all support organizations have it as well. And then we'll kind of tie it into funding. What is available? How can we help? And we work with all the business partners on an individual basis to best meet and serve your needs, whatever that might be. We'll also take a deeper dive into some of the regional data. I shared some of that with you before. There was a ton of information out there that I had never looked at before, so I was really surprised at what I found. And of course, share local work and news, like what are there any new consortiums that's being created, any new businesses moving into the area, even if, hey, are some companies shutting down, or where are the opportunities and how can we help best serve them? We'll talk about a current state. We'll talk about some successes. We'll talk about challenges. We'll talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly as well. For example, if there's a downturn in business, if the economy is flat, it's funding, quality candidates, the value of apprenticeships, companies, the interest from K through 12, recruitment, retirees, replace, all of those are challenges. And we'll talk about those and with the business partners. And we want you guys to be as transparent as you possibly can, because we don't know unless we hear from you. And we'll talk about opportunities as well. Like I said, new businesses, opportunities for on-site meetings, which is kind of hard nowadays, but if that's what you so desire, then we will make it happen. And development of area marketing for apprenticeships. What can we do to help as far as it pertains to marketing? I know one time Charlie and I had planned to do a road show, apprenticeship road show that was really targeted at the youth into the school systems. And, we still plan to do something. We just don't know what. A lot of it depends upon the restrictions that are placed upon us because of the COVID pandemic. But we'll be talking about substance in these meetings kind of going forward, and very strategic, so to speak. So if you want to know, well, what are we going to discuss in these meetings? That's what we're going to be discussing. Okay, Brandon. And Brandon, basically, this is where I pass the baton to you and let you kind of lead the discussion with our business partners. So if you will, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, yeah, glad to do so. So normally at the beginning of our meetings, we do introductions, but to better kind of flow with this presentation, we delayed it to here. And we're also just going to stick to business partner introductions today. So I tried to take note of when a business partner joined in on the chat or on the call. So I'm just going to kind of ask you to introduce yourself and what your role is at the company you work for. And so if I miss anyone, please feel free to speak up. But I've got Nikki here. Nikki, would you mind introducing yourself?
I'm Nikki. I work at Fountain Electric in Rutherford County. We actually have an apprenticeship program here set up on site where our employees use the NCEER curriculum for training electricians for the construction industry. So we have 4 classes going every Saturday. It's 3 Saturdays in a row, and then they have 1 Saturday off.
All right, perfect, perfect. Yeah, yeah. I knew you guys were doing some stuff with apprenticeships, so I appreciate that. And I've got Cindy with West Rock, I believe. Is she here? Maybe. All right, and I think I have two Baxter representatives, John and Tanya.
Yeah, my name's John Palco. As he said, I work with Baxter. I'm the senior technical trainer here. We do have an apprenticeship program, and we're actually I'm trying to use my experience from back in my teaching days. I just left the school system a few months ago to come work with Baxter, and trying to use that to backward integrate to get some possible high school students to some sort of summer camps or tours of the plants, and get them to get some interest in our apprenticeship program in-house. So.
Wow, that's great. That's perfect. And then I also believe I have David Billstrom on the line.
I'm David Billstrom. I'm the CEO at Kitspo. We have our own program internally for training production workers, and we've been working with Region C on that to take advantage of the on-the-job training. And we also have, from time to time, have interns, which we know they're going to go back to college, but hopefully consider coming back to McDowell County and working for us when they're done with their education.
Great. And I believe I have a representative from Triple Alt Design. I didn't catch the name there. Is anyone from Triple Alt Design on the call?
Yeah, this is Lindsay Wells. I'm the HR specialist with Triple Aught Design. Fairly new to the business, as the business is new to Old Fort as well. And so we're currently working with Brandon and their team on getting our on-the-job training program established. We've got a couple people in it now, but are working on doing some more hiring in the new year and hopefully adding some folks to the program.
Great, thanks. And then I believe I have Ken Coasters on the call. Is that right? All right, maybe not. Did I miss any other business partners? Okay, great. So David, that's what we have here. Do we want to, I'll refer back to you on where the discussion goes from here.
Okay, it's great. And thank you, business partners, for participating. Like I said, this is for you. And going forward, we're focused on, trying to serve and meet your needs. As pertains to our next meeting, which will be in March, what we'd like to do is to grow this collaborative. That's one of our goals, is to grow this collaborative, especially with the business partner side. You have a lot of people on the line that are part of your support organizations, and also from Apprenticeship North Carolina. But we really want to reach out to our business partner community, so to speak. And Brenda, I know that you included a lot of them on the invitation or whatever, and we will follow up and see how we can get more participation from the business partners in McDowell County. Like I said, that's a huge opportunity here, especially with the number of small manufacturers you have in McDowell County. And you are getting a lot of good participation from some of the larger companies in McDowell County. Now we just need to reach out to the smaller ones as well. And I know that your pipeline meetings that normally occur during this time, you do have a large participation of those folks. So we just need to talk about, how do we share, going back to the challenges, how do we share the value of apprenticeships with everyone? If we can't get them on the line or we can't get them to these meetings, we need to, learn how to, or strategize how to mitigate that risk, because I don't want that to become a risk for them not being made aware of it. If we have to mail them something or whatever, we'll do whatever it takes. For those that are participating and working with Brandon and his team and working with those folks at McDowell, great. And you guys are the testimonials going forward for apprenticeships and for development and for growing your community and being a key contributor to the state of North Carolina. So, and I appreciate you sharing your benefits, what you're doing there, seeing the value in what apprenticeships offer. As Brandon and Mark and others have shared, if it's anything else that you'd like to know or like to learn more about apprenticeships, just reach out from any of these partners, including myself. I guess the next thing what I would have here is if you guys, the business partners, have any questions now, would you like to ask any questions? I don't have all the answers, but I have a huge team of folks here that will have the answer. So from your business partners, do you have any questions about apprenticeships?
David, I want to step in here and say that McDowell Tech, as we move forward, I can tell you that Rob Flannery, he's on the line, and Rob will be transitioning next year, or this year, I should say, toward the fall. He'll be transitioning out of his role as the industry technical trainer that he's involved in right now, is on a project with Baxter. And he'll be transitioning into the role of our apprenticeship and work-based learning coordinator. And he also has a role right now as well as being our department chair for our vocational programs. So he will be the vocational programs apprenticeship coordinator and work-based learning coordinator. And we will be working with all of our industry partners, getting him out to all the industry partners, and just trying to touch base and telling them about the apprenticeship program and about our work-based learning programs.
Okay. I believe that was Stacy, correct?
That was.
Okay. Thank you, Stacy. And we appreciate your commitment and Dr. Merritt's commitment and Brandon, you and your team's commitment to apprenticeships. I believe that there was a comment that came through, or a question that came through the chat from Tanya. Tanya, could you get online and ask that question?
My question was, do you have any information that can be shared about the program that we can actually take back internally to share with our teams, as far as the criteria that Brandon shared earlier about the reimbursement side of that, also the criteria for being a partner in the apprenticeship program? We've utilized, as John Palco had already said, we do have some apprenticeship type of training that we already do. I've even worked with Mindy and had a job shadowing day for some students that went very well for engineering and quality. And it's one of those things in which I think that when we can have that information to take back to our leadership teams, that's the selling point when it comes to their involvement and proceeding forward. So anything that you can share is great.
Tanya, I'll address that real quick. Tanya, your guys, so Baxter always, they put 3 new people every year into the apprenticeship. And
Yes.
Of course, they come to McDowell Tech. And what we'll be doing is I'm going to be preparing a document, because one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is how work-based learning also works with apprenticeships. And so an apprenticeship is one thing, work-based learning is another thing. And the thing that where we have failed is providing work-based learning for our apprentices, so that while they're here at the college, while they're on the job, they can be getting courses for credits for that time that they're on the job. And that's one of the things that we have not been doing. So all of your apprentices have been coming to the whole program rather than getting credit for the time that they're actually on the job. And that's one of the changes that we're going to be making, is by adding work-based learning to all of our vocational programs. Your folks will be able to earn credit toward college while they're actually working as well.
And the program has been wonderful. I can just tell you, just from a recruiting standpoint, we are finding that our people that are coming out of the program, that's in our internal, and John can speak of this too, their performance is above and beyond even what we can recruit externally when they already have the prior knowledge, but they're really hitting our production floor and impacting business as we want them to. So it's been a great partnership. I just think the more that people know as far as knowledge wise that can be shared, may be able to give you more resources with business partners to get involved.
Yeah, and I can definitely send out that on-the-job training reimbursement information easily enough. But David and Stacy, is there like a getting started kind of bullet point one pager that I can send out with that as well?
I don't have one right now, but I'm going to be preparing one that actually has the information as Rob and I go around, that would have the information that you're talking about the paying half from the Regency workforce, and then also the information about what work-based learning and what apprenticeship programs are. Because a lot of people don't understand that, they can be in a work-based learning program and not necessarily in an apprenticeship. But you can also be in an apprenticeship and earn work-based learning. And if you're in an apprenticeship and earning work-based learning, you can earn more work-based learning per semester doing apprenticeship than you can with just doing work-based learning.
Right. And David, is there information on how to become a registered apprenticeship with North Carolina?
Yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't say that, Stacy, we have some additional information or literature, electronic, so to speak, that we can kind of share with you guys as well. And we can send out to the business partners. You guys know them, you have greater knowledge of all the business partners in your respective county, but there is some online literature that we can definitely share with you that would greatly help. And Tanya, that is a great question, and I do appreciate your testimonial as well. Thanks for those questions. And yes, I'll connect with others as part of our team and get you the information as quickly as possible. Sherry, are you aware of some things as well?
Yes, David, thank you. I did want to actually say a few words. So I am the apprenticeship consultant in the Northwest and the Western regions, and have overseen the programs in those areas for about 10 years. I'm very excited to be a part of the McDowell pipeline meeting again, and I really look forward to seeing apprenticeships grow in Region C. I know we have had many meetings about apprenticeships and really got some things started, and I really look forward to expanding upon that. And two, just so the business partners know, and Stacy, when you're talking with your industry partners and the companies there in Region C and around McDowell Tech, know that this is part of what these meetings are for, to actually have the opportunity to learn more about how and why apprenticeship programs work, and also to identify what some of their training needs and goals would be, so we can work with them to develop and then register their programs. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here, is better facilitate and streamline the process to develop and start apprenticeships for our industry partners. So we really look forward to that. And we also have an awesome website now, which has a lot of information, but we will send some electronic information as well that you can hand out to your business partners. But we really do encourage them to be a part of these meetings. I think that they'll really learn a lot, and especially if they have any interest in building an apprenticeship. And we'll be right there side by side with them doing it and making it happen. Thank you.
Sure, you're absolutely correct in that the thing about developing apprenticeship programs is, especially for your business partners, is that you have everyone that you need on this presentation or as part of this meeting, so to speak, as it pertains to apprenticeship programs. Want to learn more about apprenticeship programs, how to do it, why should they do it? the benefits, here's some testimonials. We'll talk about some of the goals that you have, some of the constraints or roadblocks you might be running into as a business. Maybe they have nothing to do with apprenticeships right now, but we'll be as transparent as we possibly can be. I understand some business partners may be in a competitive environment, but we'll share what we can. But everyone that you would need, every resource that you need, will be a part of this meeting. So we'll be able to address any concern, any question that you may have as part of this call, and respond to you very quickly, very quickly. So thank you, Sherry, for those remarks. Are there any other questions from any of our business partners or comments?
David, I have another quick question. So if a company contacted me and said that they wanted to get a registered apprenticeship started up or start the process as soon as tomorrow, would Sherry be the person they would need to contact to get the registered apprenticeship program in coordination with McDowell Tech on the actual curriculum to be put together? Is that correct?
Well, it can be Sherry or myself.
Okay.
And we work as a team.
Yeah, we work closely as a team.
We really do. And and I also want to add that I know the next meeting is in March. So like you said, Brandon, if you have somebody that's really interested, maybe they've already learned quite a bit about apprenticeship or had some preliminary talks with the college and maybe David or myself, we obviously don't have to wait until the next meeting in March to start that. So we will be ongoing meetings with any industry partners that are interested in finding out more about the program, as well as developing and registering a program for them.
Perfect. Thank you.
Very true. Very true. Okay. There's no comments. Brandon, if you go to the next slide. And I would be remiss if I did not make you guys aware that our 2021 Apprenticeship NC Annual Conference is virtual this year. Last year it was on site in Durham on the campus of Duke University. This year is virtual because of the COVID. We're taking a split day approach. So it's really 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday from 8:30 to 12. They'll have a couple of presentations, a panel discussion and things of that nature. So I do encourage you to register for the Apprenticeship NC 2021 virtual conference for April the 27th and 28th. You guys will be receiving, between now and then, friendly reminders to make you aware, and you see the link there that you can access and to go in and register. It'd be that simple, but I'll be sending out reminders, but I'm hoping that, you guys will be able to participate there and you can learn a lot and hear about other people's experiences as it pertains to apprenticeship across North Carolina. So that's a plug for that. And I guess the last slide is a big thank you to everyone who participated today. Business partners, our support personnel, and organizations, community college over at McDowell Tech. You guys are awesome. And all my Apprenticeship NC team. Just want to remind you for the next collaborative meeting for McDowell is March the 16th. And you guys will be receiving an invitation several weeks in advance as it pertains to their next meeting. So that is all that I have on my plate for today. So Brandon, Stacy, any final comments? I'm going to pass the baton to you to close out the meeting.
All right. Yep. So let's see. That's basically all I have too. So our next pipeline meeting, and David, again, thank you for explaining the apprenticeship program and the meetings coming up to the collaborative. Really appreciate your time. And I'll make sure to keep the pipeline committee up to date on when those meetings are and attend as many of them as I can myself. So that's really all I had for the meeting today. I did just want to say that appreciate everyone for coming, of course. I suppose our February meeting will also be virtual because it doesn't look like COVID's letting up anytime soon, although I can't wait to see everybody again. It's probably better to be safe during this time. And then hopefully, again, I'm taking this as on a month by month basis. So maybe if the vaccine and everything starts working, maybe we can look at March or even the next month as being an in-person event. So again, thank you everybody for coming. I don't have anything else. Great seeing everyone.
Have a great day.